right, folks, before we even go any further, yes, you can see it. I'm beardless. I don't have it anymore. And I have to put it all the blame on my daughter. I have to, because she actually had told me, I was letting the beard grow out and got quite a few compliments about it. But, Mother Nature has taken her course, Father Time, and over time, those grays were coming through, and I don't want to sit up here in front of you and look like Papa Smurf, so I had to cut the beard off. So no more beard. Hey, this is how we're going to have to roll. If you don't want to see the video, all you got to do is listen to the audio. You don't have to see the ugly face. But anyway, folks, we're having a good time today. A lot of good stuff going on in the world of sports. The owners' meetings in Orlando. We'll talk about some of the rule changes that are going on in the NFL. We'll talk about the Sweet 16. You talk about great basketball games coming up. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's tilt. Virginia, you see them right there in the screen. Virginia against Michigan State. Does it get any better than that? Well, you know what? Last week it did, and I got to tell you, I think the Wichita State-Kentucky game, to me right now, was the game of the tournament. I think this Virginia-Michigan State game has a chance to really, intensity-wise, up that. Because you're talking about two of the best defensive teams in the country. You're talking about two coaches that believe that you have to be able to be physical against your opponent. This is going to be a great matchup. Tony Bennett against Tom Izzo, one of the guys I think is the best in the business. This is going to be a very, very brutal basketball game. And I don't mean brutal in a negative way. I just mean it's not going to be a lot of points scored. Points will be at a premium. Probably the first team to get to 60 in this game is going to win it. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Rick Pitino and Louisville going up against John Calipari in Kentucky. Those great young guys from Kentucky, one of the best recruiting classes of all time. They seem to have found themselves. They seem to believe in each other. And you're seeing a young team pick up steam, pick up momentum. That was a very gutsy win that they, squeezed out against Wichita State, against the Shockers, who I thought played a really good basketball game. It just was not meant to be this year for that team. So we'll talk about all these Sweet 16 games coming up. Again, I mean, if you like college basketball, it doesn't get any better than this. And then if you want to step it up to the pro level and you like professional basketball, well, I don't know what could be better tonight than to have the Indiana Pacers against the Miami Heat. Two teams that clearly have been on a collision course all year long. Outside of maybe the Chicago Bulls, who I think are playing really good basketball. I mean, I think you have to give Tom Thibodeau a lot of credit because he's got that team believing without their superstar, Derrick Rose, without a guy that was always the second leading scorer on that team, and Luol Deng being traded to Cleveland. They haven't missed a beat. I mean, Jimmy Butler's come in and picked it up offensively. You have Joakim Noah hitting the boards even more now. Kirk Heinrich is giving them some production at the point guard spot. DJ Augustine, an outcast from Charlotte, he's come in and picked it up and done a great job. So you have to look at the Chicago Bulls as a team that, they might get in the playoffs and cause a little bit of trouble. But as far as the big two in the East, no one's beating Miami. No one's beating Indiana except themselves. And tonight, you're going to get a chance to see those two teams go at it, and I think it's going to be just buzzing. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere, and I don't want to hear anyone out there that's going to say these two teams aren't going to care who wins tonight's game because it's a regular season matchup. And no, tonight will be a game where a message will be sent. Whoever wins this game is going to send a message that, you know what, this is what it's going to be like come playoff time. If you're Indiana, you have a chance to send a statement against the two-time defending champion Miami Heat to tell them, you know what, it's our crown this year. We're going to take it. We're going to take the East. If you're Miami, you get a chance to kind of, smush guys. Remember when you were in high school and, you kind of smush somebody in the face, say, get out of here. That's what Miami can do tonight against Indiana. Let them know nothing's going to derail us from winning this conference again. Nothing's going to derail us from going for a three-peat. Very good matchups. I mean, this is just a good time in sports. You really can't beat it. We'll also talk about when we're in our college segment. We'll talk about just an unfortunate situation for a coach that I thought had a chance to really do some damage at University of South Florida. Steve Mazziello. I mean, obviously we understand the situation with him. We'll talk about that, but whenever you do something that's falsified, sometimes it comes back and it'll come back and bite you, and it did this time. I do want to give you a different take on it, though. I'm not sure if people were prepared for my take on it, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Folks, if you live in the Mid-Atlantic region right now, it's supposed to be spring. We're supposed to be, hearing the birds chirping, and we're supposed to see the nice clean cars going by. Everyone's supposed to be able to break out the spring gear. It's still winter here. It snowed yesterday, snowed all day. Didn't really accumulate a whole lot on the streets, but in the grass, the trees, everything was covered. It's still covered to this very day. You have cold weather today, and it just doesn't feel right. It feels clearly when you start hearing those words, climate change. If you mention that here in the Mid-Atlantic region, people are taking notice to that right now. Maybe, a year or 2, 3, 4 years ago, you brush it off and that's Al Gore. Listen, let me tell you, I'm taking heed to this now, because you should not have in late March. We're a couple days from April. You should not have snow. You should not have, sub-freezing temperatures. It's just, it doesn't make sense. So, you come on the show every day and you have to talk about other things that go on in your life. And I understand some of you look at this as an outlet for whatever you're going through, for whatever you're talking about. And for us right now, it's a big deal here in the Mid-Atlantic. And if you live in the Northeast, wow, I feel really bad for you, because your kids, they're still building snowmen when they're supposed to be, getting ready to go to the beach for spring break. Not gonna happen. But nevertheless, what we do here, obviously, we talk sports. If this is your first time joining us, I appreciate you checking me out for the first time. As always, folks, you can check us out on social media. All you have to do is go to Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and you can type in Sports Journey. That's what we are. That's who we are. That's what we give you. Everyday great coverage. A lot of great people on this staff. Check us out. You can follow us. We'll try to follow you back. For my personal Facebook, it's Lake Lewis Jr. You can see it right there at the screen. And for my Twitter, Lake Lewis. So social media big for us. Try to reach out to all the fans. You can watch this show as a live broadcast, which it is now, or you can watch it as an archived show via our website at sportsjourney.com. Also, as you can tell, if you're on YouTube, you can see it on YouTube as well. So appreciate everybody joining us today. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're getting right into this thing, folks. Goalpost changes. Are you kidding me, NFL? We'll be back. Lake Lewis Show.
Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Are you worried about home foreclosure? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home and there is nowhere to turn? Then the Homeowners Relief Line could be your answer. Homeowners Relief Line can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowners Relief Line now. Homeowners Relief Line has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you right away. Remember, if you are behind on your mortgage payments, Homeowners Relief Line can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it is too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowners Relief Line now.
Call 800-749-8070. That's 800-749-8070.
That's a good pour. Frosty glass, perfect amount of foam.
Thanks, Coach.
How's your Bloody Mary?
Spicy?
Wings?
Always fresh, never frozen.
All right. Who's the primary on Spider 2Z Snag?
It's the fullback out of the backfield. If he gets jammed, I'm heading the flanker on a curl route.
You're good.
I know.
Huddle up at Hooters. Why would you go anywhere else, man?
Medical emergencies.
This is Life Alert. Are you okay?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I'm calling for help right now. Sharon, we received a smoke signal coming from your kitchen. Get out now. We're calling the fire department.
Home invasion. Emergencies away from home.
I'm trying to get to my car, but it's still a ways away.
I'm right here and we'll stay on the line with you and we can contact the police if necessary.
And you can have this protection away from home for just $19.95 per month.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-830-1951. That's 1-800-830-1951. Call now 1-800-830-1951. For a free brochure, call 1-800-830-1951.
This is Victor Cruz.
wide receiver of the New York Giants, and I just came off the show at Sports Journey. Had a great time with Blake, and I definitely want to come back and do it again. Maybe I'll bring some friends next time, and I had a blast.
Out here at Sports Journey, having a great time, been on the show several times, giving me a chance to vent, tell people, and really connect with the fans how I feel about different situations going on throughout the year, especially with the NFL. And I love it. Having met a lot of people out here, and just going to continue to come back and continue to grow this relationship with me and Sports Journey and my boy Lake Lewis.
With Lake Lewis on Sports Journey, had a good time tonight. Felt comfortable, just being myself. It was a great interview, a great time, and I love to do it again.
What's up, this is Alex Joseph from the San Francisco 49ers, number 58. How y'all doing? It's Vladimir Lucas, offensive line for the New York Jets, number 62. So I'll let you know we had a great time tonight with Sports Journey, hanging out with Chris and Lake. Good time. Be back here next time. See y'all some other day. Can't wait.
Are you stressed over credit cards and other debts? Maybe through no fault of your own? Imagine how it would feel to have that weight lifted right off your shoulders. Well, here's some good news from America's trusted name in debt relief. Care One providers have already helped over 4.5 million people in debt, and we can help you today. Just call this toll-free number to speak with a friendly representative, and in just minutes, you'll get your free debt relief analysis.
Regardless of your situation, Care One has an option for you.
We are there to help, and we do that in a way that's empathetic and supportive without judging their financial situation.
The credit card companies, I feel, are trying to keep you in debt and trying to keep it so you owe them money forever. And Care One is a good way to get you out of that and get you out of it fast.
A big burden was lifted off of my shoulders.
Care One threw me a lifeline. Call Care One. They will help you.
Get debt relief from a company you can trust. Just call the toll-free number today.
Debt relief.
Look, I don't want to come back in and be, rude or just be negative. Sometimes you have to talk sports, and sometimes you have to be negative about it because there's some things that just don't make sense. I'm a little ticked off right now though with the NFL. The NFL, the greatest thing going in our country sports wise. Make no mistake about it. We know that. But I'm a little ticked off with the NFL for a variety of reasons. One, wasn't a big fan of the no dunk rule that they just put in. I understand that, you may have some credence to the fact that if a guy gets up there and dunks the ball over the goalpost, it could dislodge the goalpost, and therefore you're causing, an extra timeout. And the league's about making sure that the games aren't stretched out too long. They understand that there's TV, endorsements and investments involved in this from a commercial standpoint, and yeah, they understand too that there's fans there that sometimes want to get home in a decent amount of time. I understand all that, but it's hard to score. I mean, it is really hard to put the ball in the end zone in the NFL. And now the league literally is turning into the no fun league. You don't take away the Lambeau Leap. And see, I understand that Green Bay is one of the historic, Lambeau Field's one of the historic venues in the NFL, but I do think there's a little bit of hypocrisy with that, because the league is going to use the goalpost thing now as a safety issue as far as making sure the goalpost doesn't get dislodged. Well, guys jumping into a crowd is a safety issue to me too. So my thing is, if you're going to ban one, you need to ban the other. If you're not going to ban one, then you don't ban the other. You can't make the league the no fun league. You can't. And it's starting to go that route. It's starting to become a watered down, celebrated league. You can't have this. This is the NFL. It's the best thing going in our country, sports-wise. You need to let guys celebrate, as long as they're not doing anything disrespectful. I mean, as long as they're not, running over to the other team sideline and looking at them and spiking the ball, or running to the middle of the field, a la T.O., going to the star, opening his arms up. Yes, I understand that. I mean, maybe even to a lesser extent, the Fun Bunch when I was a kid with the Redskins. They would wave their arms in the other team's end zone and jump, and it wasn't to be disrespectful. It was more to be celebratory towards what they did as far as getting in the end zone. So the league is stopping that, and I do find that to be a little bit of a problem. Let me know your thoughts. You can email me at shows@sportsjourney.com, or you can reach out to me. Obviously, we just gave you our social medias, and you can see them on the screen. Reach out to us. Let us know your thoughts. Is it a bad thing right now that the league is doing this? I just don't know where their head is with some of the things. Yeah, they did, make some progress in some rules that I think definitely needed to be changed. They're going to raise the goalpost now 5 feet higher, and I think that makes sense. I do. I definitely think that was something that needed to be done. You're talking about kickers now just knocking the leather off the football, and you're also talking about situations where you're not quite sure did that ball really go over the goalpost? Was it within the goalpost? So now, there was two takes on it, from a ruling standpoint. You had some who felt like if the ball was going directly over, one of the goalposts, then in retrospect, that imaginary line would mean that it would block the ball and the ball would come back and not go through the goalpost. People didn't rule it that way. It was as long as it wasn't outside the line. So now for them to raise the goalposts up 5 extra feet or 5 additional feet on both sides, I do think that will help a little bit. Probably not going to solve all ills, all problems, because there may be a kicker that kicks the ball to the point where it goes above that, and you're still going to have to make a judgment call. Referees aren't going to be right 100% of the time. One of the things that you feel like could have helped that was to have been able to go to instant replay on every situation, which is what Bill Belichick, New England Patriots coach, was trying to do. He wanted to have, as long as you had your allotted amount of times you can challenge, he felt like you should be able to challenge anything. Well, the league said no to that. That's not what they wanted. So, you're going to have situations now where you're going to only be able to have video reviews on plays, where it happened in the field of play. It's something that, happened before the whistle was blown dead. So, these are different rules. These are things that I don't think they're going to be hard for, us as fans, or some media to really adapt, to or understand. I don't think it's hard at all. Some rules that were rejected was the Redskins had a proposal to move kickoffs to a 40-yard line. Not really sure what that was about. Unless they just really wanted to eliminate the need, period, to have a special teams unit, which they really didn't have last year, even though they had 11 guys on the field. That's a whole nother story. The Patriots, had one rejected as well, where they had a proposal to move the extra point back to the 25-yard line. That was stricken down as well. So everything wasn't always rosy as far as the league meetings, as far as the owners' meetings. But I do think there were some changes that were made that are good for the game. Not really sure about the dunk rule, but again, if they're going to argue that it slows the game down, if there's a delay of game, okay, then I can live with that. I'm not sure how accurate that is. Obviously I haven't had a chance to look it up, to do the research on how many times guys dunked on the goalpost and it dislodged it. I don't really recant a whole lot of those opportunities, though. I don't think I've seen that a whole lot. So, sorry to the Jimmy Grahams of the world. Tony Gonzalez, great soon-to-be Hall of Fame tight end who just recently retired from the Atlanta Falcons, longtime Kansas City Chief on top of that, tweeted yesterday that he's glad he got out the game when he did because he's not happy about that. He's the guy that really started that whole celebration, as far as going over the goalposts. And it wasn't to be, malicious or just rough with the goalposts. I mean, it was just flipping the thing over there, and that was his thing. And he was a former basketball player when he was in college at Cal, so it was kind of like his homage to the sport that he also played as well. Not a good thing. Jimmy Graham, played basketball as well in college, and he felt like he could do it as well. Probably idolized Tony Gonzalez growing up, and Jimmy Graham, perhaps the greatest tight end in the game today. Yes, I think he's having a rough off season, to say the least. They've cleaned house a little bit in New Orleans, and Jimmy Graham's going through a contract dispute, got franchised, so maybe not getting the long-term deal he wants. Then they go out and they get Jarius Byrd for $35 million. I'm sure Jimmy Graham's like, hey, what's up? Do I not get that money? What's the deal here? So interesting developments there. How necessary are the owners' meetings in Orlando? This is a chance for the owners to get down, wine and dine each other, trade some war stories and get on about their own business. I think every year the league is trying to improve its game. I just don't know if they're going about it the right way. I do think that I'm not a big fan of fans being involved in decision making in a lot of aspects of sports. That's just me. That's just a personal opinion. I do think that you have like for instance, all-star voting. I don't think fans should be able to, vote for any all-stars because everything they do is with their heart. You're voting for your favorite player on your favorite team, and your team may stink. Your favorite player may stink as well, but you're still going to vote for them because you're going with your heart, not your mind. That's where the fans should be eliminated. I'm not a big fan of them getting involved in decision making, but I think the NFL is a rare breed. I think the NFL is clearly a fans' league. The fans drive the NFL, and I think that sometimes the owners, the commissioners, I think sometimes they lose sight of that. They really do. The fans don't have a problem with instant replay. Most fans that I've talked to, they like instant replay. They want to have it more because they don't want to have games have outcomes where a referee blows a call. Let's be honest. We understand it's a judgment call, but when you have a lot at stake, you can't make mistakes. We saw that infamous, just disastrous play for the 49ers as a whole in the NFC Championship against Seattle when Navarro Bowman, just had his knee turned in a way the human knee is not supposed to turn. And everyone saw that he recovered it on top of the fact that his leg was going out at a 45-degree angle. He was holding on to the football. Well, it was a play that could not be reviewed, and then there was a pile-up, which, was eerie to see that on top of a man whose knee was already gone the wrong way. And unfortunately, Seattle came up with the football. I have a problem when the league has to have something this disastrous happen to make a common sense ruling that should have been in place from day one. So are they trying to get some things right? Yes. I'm not trying to pile on. I told you I'm not trying to be negative, but if you're going to make some rule changes, fine. But every year it seems like the game is changing and it's changing and it's changing. There just has to be some universal rules that they put in that maybe even college football follows for that matter, folks. I think that would be good for the game. On top of that, to have some of these things implemented where it's just common sense stuff that you see all the time. So with that said, folks, want to let everybody know that at Fathead, we have a couple great things going on through Sports Journey. If you go to sportsjourney.com and see the Fathead banner, you get a couple items. You can get one item for what, $15. You can get like two for $25, or you can get two for $30. I mean, it's a whole lot of great things that we're doing there. So all you have to do is go to the Fathead logo on Sports Journey, and you too will be able to get a Fathead. If you don't have one, they're great, folks. They really are. I mean, you can put them on your wall. They have decals now. You can put them on your laptops or your computers. On your pads, just so many different things you can do. They have trading cards now that you can do. So check them out when you get some time. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll switch gears here. We'll talk a little bit about the Sweet 16. Some great matchups coming up, folks. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed this weekend. Well, unless you're out of your brackets. I'm still in my bracket. I'm still in it. I'm still in the running. I had a great run. I did have some upsets, but everyone did. And I said this last week. I was really disappointed that I wasn't going to be able to win Warren Buffett's $1 billion bracket. Things would have been different in life. it would have just been so different for all of us here. You probably would have seen a beach scene behind me. You would have literally been having, someone serving me literally on the beach while we were doing the show live. But unfortunately, all that's changed. But I'm still in the running, though. I'm still in the running for the 100,000. I still think that I have the best Final Four brackets. Some of you may have the same ones. We'll talk about that when we come back. RJ's Automotive service at its best. Automobile owners, if you're looking for the best in automotive service, then give RJ's Automotive a call at 571-521-0400. Conveniently located in Northern Virginia for over 20 years, RJ's is an accredited business with the Better Business Bureau. RJ's has their opponents beat by offering 2-year warranties on all parts and labor. RJ's offers free tire rotation with every oil change and appointment service to better schedule your day.
I've used RJ's for all 3 of my cars, and one of them was recently totaled after they had done a wonderful job of taking care of it. I drive a Pontiac Montana, and they've assured me they're going to get me going for 300,000 miles, and I believe it.
As an added service, they're open on Saturdays for appointments and special services.
Well, I come to Rise because I know he checks everything out, and I I know a lot of times I'll go other places and I'll come here and they'll really delve into an issue, whereas some other places will just try to replace big whole parts.
Remember, give them a call at 571-521-0400. Whenever I see you on the field, the ball migrates to you. You know, you make big plays. A lot of people remember you last year picking off Tony Romo against the Cowboys to ice it as far as winning the division. Your first play back this year, what happened?
I got a pick.
You got a pick.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It just seems like the guys that were really part of the run last year aren't the guys who lost 7 in a row. Before we move on to our college basketball, I just want to let everyone know a couple of quick announcements that we're going to be Friday night, if you live here in the Washington metropolitan area, Northern Virginia. We're going to be at the Hooters in Fairfax, Virginia. Myself and NFL, CFL linebacker Chris Wilson. A lot of people know Chris for his days here playing for the Washington Redskins. He's also hosting a pretty good show. Called At the Park, which is from Redskins Park. He's hosting that show as well, doing some good stuff in the off season here. He'll be out there with myself, and just come on out. Every time we've been there, we've had a wonderful time, great turnout. We have a great time on the show. We let you, the fans, get involved as well. So again, come on out this Friday, March Madness show with myself and Chris Wilson, NFL, CFL linebacker. The address for that location is 10334 Fairfax Boulevard in Fairfax, Virginia. For more information, you can give them a call too at 703-359-5850. We'll be there from 7 to 9 p.m. And again, leading up until the big one, folks, leading up until Virginia, Michigan State. Does it really get any bigger than this? I don't think so. This is one of those matchups that if you like old school hard-nosed basketball the way I do, this is a matchup you want to see. You want to see these two teams really get after it. That's going to be on a Friday. But tomorrow we've got some great games coming up tomorrow that I'm excited about. I think the Dayton-Stanford game is a really good basketball game. I do. That's the 7:15 first game tomorrow night for the Sweet 16. You have 11-seeded Dayton, 10th-seeded Stanford. They're both still coming off impressive wins, and they're keeping that thing rolling. I think Johnny Dawkins has really put his stamp on the Stanford Cardinal, and they're a big physical team that I think will really have an opportunity to advance. I think Dayton's playing some outstanding basketball right now. You look at what Archie Miller's doing. He's not anymore in the shadows of Sean Miller, his brother, who's out at Arizona, who's a number 1 seed and looking really good. So we've got a really good, compelling matchup in that game. And then at 7:47, you have Baylor, and listen, I think what Bryce Drew's done out there, I think that he's made Baylor formidable every year. They're not one of those programs. And you remember, you go back to the I think it's Patrick Denny situation. I think there was a situation where a player murdered a teammate. This was, I want to say 13, 14 years ago, maybe less time than that. I'm not sure, but it just seemed like that was a death blow for that organization, for that school, for that basketball program. And what he's done has come in there and elevated them, and they've been really good for a while now. I mean, they're not going away at all. They've been great for a long time.